Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Star Wars: The Dark Forces Remastered. It was originally released in 1995 for MS-DOS, but the version that I'm playing is the remaster one, which released in 2024 for the PS4, PS5, and probably a bunch of other systems that I don't know about. And it's an action-adventure FPS developed by Night Drive Studios and LucasArts and published by Night Drive Studios. And also, there'll be spoilers up ahead just so you know, but first a little backstory. So about 2 weeks ago, I saw a review of this game and it looked interesting. I never played this game as a kid because I didn't have like a dedicated gaming PC back then, but this remastered piqued my interest. As you start up the game, you get the classic Star Wars crawling text explaining basically who Kyle Katarn is, and he's on a mission for the rebels and he's going down to the planet in a ship. And then you have a couple of options. You can select a new mission, manage agent, options, and the vault. And the vault is a cool thing because you can look at game development stuff, art, and even play some levels that weren't in the original game, I believe. So the first mission is the secret base. You get informed by Mon Mothma, the rebel leader, I guess, that you're supposed to go down to the Imperial secret base and find the plans for the Death Star. You can select between easy, medium, and hard. So this game is what you call a Doom clone. So imagine the classic Doom, but it's in Star Wars. So you shoot down stormtroopers in this first level. You find and search for a red key so you can open up a specific door, get an elevator, get the plans for the Death Star, and get out of there. And then there's a cutscene where Darth Vader and his general is having this conversation about the Dark Trooper project, and that's the whole point of this game, to figure out what's going on with these types of troops. And then Kyle talks to Mon Mothma on the rebel ship, and she wants to recruit him to the cause, basically, to be sort of this mercenary on these secret missions. So Kyle agrees on this if he gets to work with Jan Orris, which is this female pilot that later becomes an interest in the second game, I believe. So now it's time for the second mission. You're supposed to bring back the hydraulic electronic power generators. That was a bit hard to say. So you do that and you figure out more about the Dark Troopers, and then you return to the ship. So before you turn on the generator things, the level is actually dark, so you have this sort of flashlight on you, but at the end of the level you get these night vision goggles, and if you use them too much, the battery will run out. So then it's time for mission 3, find Moff Rebus, which is this, I guess, weapon specialists. So you found them in the sewers area. You navigate through gateways and channels and stuff, and you actually go through the filth of the sewers to get to him. There are also some droids you have to shoot down that are in the way, and there are some monsters that were introduced in the Star Wars movie A New Hope, I believe, these like trash compactor monsters. And then it's time for mission 4, so you're supposed to infiltrate this military base on the planet called Fest. So you're supposed to be there to collect a metal sample as proof of the Dark Trooper gun, I believe. It's kind of ridiculous, but you're on this windy planet, you jump around on ledges, platforms, and eventually you will make it into the research base, and the ducking mechanics is introduced at this point of the game. So you have to go through like I don't want to say like ventilation shaft, but I guess like a cable duct or something like that. So you're supposed to go through there, and yeah, that's what this level is about. So I played this game on and off this week, and it was a fun game that I didn't know that I wanted to play, if that makes sense. So I had a lot of fun. I'm generally not an FPS guy, but this was nice. This was fun and different. So gameplay. Follow Kyle Katarn and Jan Orris on an adventure to figure out what the Empire's up to and stop them. Control, the left stick moves Kyle around. The right stick is aim. You can invert it in the options menu, thank God. You can jump with the X button. R2 is, well, you fire your gun with it. R1 is the weapons wheel. The square button is the headlamp. Circle is use. And triangle is the night vision goggles. Graphics. So the first game used the Jedi engine, and Night Drive has its own engine called the Kex engine. And I'm a bit confused about why it's called the Kex engine. It reminds me of like a sweet biscuit or something. So the enemies on the screen are 2D sprites that rotates, so they're always facing you in this 3D environment. Some of the textures actually look really bland, but the Imperial kind of interior textures with technology and stuff on the walls, they look really good, like straight out of the movie. So another thing that the remaster did was they upscaled everything to fit on a high definition system, so the CG cutscenes look really good because they've been touched up, and the pixel animation has been also touched up a bit, but they if you have played one of those old LucasArts games, then you know what I'm talking about. It's one of those things where there are a lot of still frames, very janky animations, but it gets the job across. I think Dark Forces 2 actually used like FMV and stuff, but this game didn't have much of that. Sound and music. Claimed by Kin made the soundtrack for this game. So you have two options here. You can pick the general MIDI soundtrack or the OPL3, I believe it's called, OPL3. It's potato to me. I don't really care. It's it's not that pleasant to listen to, but it's there. And another thing about the sound effects of the game, when Kyle jumps or fires his gun and stuff, they use the same sound effects for the game on the Nintendo 64 called Empire Strikes Back or something like that. No, it's called the Shadow of the Empire. It's kind of crazy how the sound effects just were reduced. Easter egg secrets and glitches. So this was a feature that I didn't know about. Apparently there's a sheet menu. So during a mission you can just punch in a sheet, and this makes me nostalgic because back in the day, all the Quake and Doom stuff, all those games had cheat codes. So in conclusion I wrote, yes, try it if you like classic Doom and Star Wars. So I'm glad I played this game this week. It's also a nice thing to know where Kyle actually came from, his origin story. So I played Jedi Academy before and Jedi Outcast. So this game controls really well, and you can even go into the options menu and change every control setting on your controller to basically remap the thing to whatever you want, which is more or less a PC thing nowadays, but now you can totally remap your entire controller if you want to. There are also a lot of goodies. You go into the vault section where you can see all the behind stuff with the developers, art, everything. That's really cool. I like that. The only negative thing I can say, in some of the open levels when you look up at the what they call in gaming skybox, it doesn't look really well when you rotate, but that's my only complaint with this game. It's otherwise a really good remaster, and I can recommend it. So anyway, thanks for listening and for watching, and take care.